In the hushed corridors of power, where shadows dance like specters and secrets are currency, a storm was brewing. It was the eve of betrayal in the heart of the Ayyubid Sultanate. Within the opulent, yet somber, confines of the royal palace in Cairo, candlelight flickered across intricate carvings, casting long, distorted shadows on the walls. Amidst this tense quiet, one figure stood as the calm center of the impending hurricane, Shajar al-Durr. Her gaze, a mixture of cold calculation and fierce determination, held the weight of an empire teetering on the brink. She had been a slave, a concubine, and a wife to the Sultan. Now, she was on the verge of becoming something more, something history had never witnessed. Her eyes, dark and unreadable, stared into the flame, reflecting a plan so audacious it would forever alter the course of Egypt. The air was thick with conspiracy, each silent moment pregnant with the impending violence that would soon erupt. The year was 1250, and Egypt was in the throes of a catastrophic crisis. The Seventh Crusade, led by the zealous King Louis IX of France, had descended upon the Nile Delta like a biblical plague. The Crusader armies had captured the strategic port of Damietta, and the Ayyubid forces were in disarray. Compounding the chaos, Sultan as-Saili Aya, Shajar al-Durr's husband, had died suddenly from a grave illness, leaving the empire leaderless at its most vulnerable moment. Sensing the imminent collapse, Shajar al-Durr concealed her husband's death, forging his signature on decrees and commanding the army in his name. The fate of Egypt hung by a thread as the Crusaders advanced, culminating in the decisive Battle of Fariska. Through a masterful stratagem, the Egyptian forces, commanded by the Mamluk general Shajar al-Durr, had cultivated, encircled, and crushed the Crusader army, capturing King Louis IX himself. The immediate threat was neutralized, but a new, internal one was about to emerge. With the Crusader king in chains and the immediate danger averted, Shajar al-Durr's true political genius came to the fore. She had managed the state and the war effort with unparalleled skill, but she knew her position as a woman was precarious. She summoned the only legitimate heir, Turan Shah, the late Sultan's son, from his post in Mesopotamia. Her plan was to use him as a figurehead, a male face to legitimize her authority while she continued to wield the real power from behind the throne. She navigated the treacherous currents of court politics, securing the loyalty of the powerful Bahri Mamluks, the elite slave soldiers, who formed the backbone of the army. Through a series of cunning maneuvers, she consolidated her control, placing her allies in key positions and marginalizing any potential rivals. She was the architect of victory, the true ruler in all but name. However, the newly crowned Sultan Turan Shah was not content to be a puppet. Arrogant and impulsive, he quickly alienated the very people who had secured his throne. He distrusted Shajar al-Durr, the woman who had saved his father's empire, and he despised the Mamluk elites, viewing them as upstart slaves who needed to be put in their place. Turan Shah began appointing his own inexperienced cronies to positions of power, threatening the established order, and openly insulting the veteran Mamluk generals, including the formidable Baibars and Aktay. The tension in the palace became unbearable. The Mamluks, who had fought and bled for Egypt, saw their power, their influence, and their very lives threatened by the new sultan's recklessness. A conspiracy began to form in the shadows, a deadly alliance between the slighted Mamluks and the woman they still revered, Shajar al-Durr. The climax arrived on a fateful day in Fariska. During a lavish banquet, the conspiracy was set into motion. As Turan Shah feasted, a group of Mamluk emirs, led by Baibars, burst into the tent with swords drawn. In a chaotic, stylized flurry of motion and steel, the assassination attempt began. Turan Shah, wounded but alive, fled the tent in a panic, seeking refuge in a wooden town overlooking the Nile. The assassins pursued him relentlessly, setting the tower ablaze. Engulfed in flames and with nowhere to run, the Sultan leaped into the river, begging for his life. But there was no mercy. Baibars and his men waded into the water and finished the deed, their blades flashing under the Egyptian sun. It was a brutal, cinematic end to a short and foolish reign, and Egypt's first recorded political assassination was complete. In the immediate aftermath, the Mamluks, with no other viable candidate, declared Shajar al-Durr as the new Sultana of Egypt. Her ascent marked a singular moment in Islamic history, but her reign as the sole ruler was short-lived, lasting only 80 days before political pressures forced her to marry a Mamluk commander. Though her time at the pinnacle of power was brief, her legacy was profound. She had successfully steered Egypt through one of its darkest hours, outmaneuvered a crusader king, and laid the groundwork for the Mamluk Sultanate, which would rule Egypt for nearly 3 centuries. Shajar al-Durr's story is a testament to the indomitable will of a woman who, against all odds, rose from slavery to outsmart an empire, forever etching her name into the annals of power and politics.